Welcome to the Last Awakening Warriors podcast. Delivering your eulogy. I am Joshua David, and I am here with my cohort, Johnny Rest in Peace Walker. What's going on, bud?
What's up? Hey, we're gonna put a positive spin on this whole video. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, Death, where is your sting?
Where is it? We'll figure it out.
Is there a sting to death?
We used to think so. I don't know if that's proper English, but whatever. I don't believe there is now. And hopefully after the video tonight, you'll see that there's not any yourself. So what's been going on, man?
Still waiting on my couch.
Yeah? When was it supposed to be delivered?
Tomorrow. It's just been a long week.
Yeah.
Waiting.
I don't like when I'm waiting for something I'm excited about. You know, I was waiting for something this past Monday, and I received it. And crazy thing is, it's going to be Monday again tomorrow, and I still haven't taken it out of the box. So maybe I wasn't as excited about it as I thought. So how are you doing with the lockdown?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I'm normally locked down anyway.
Right? Me too. Now, have you been watching People lately?
Well, I always do that.
Yeah. What are you thinking about when you're seeing the People here lately? What's your thoughts about how the People's actions? How they're reacting to everything right now?
They're starting to get restless.
Yes. Yes.
And they don't like being with themselves.
No, not at all. That's exactly why I was asking you the question, is because people are, they're starting. I've been noticing, when Dad's watching the news and stuff, there's people doing, little displays at city halls and state houses and stuff like that. And then today, super nice day here in the apartment complex I live at. And people are just done. They're done. This whole apartment complex was outside hanging out.
Right. And why is that?
They're just over it.
What are they over, though? Because at the beginning, they wasn't like that, right?
No, but at the beginning, they were fearful.
Ah.
Yeah.
What were they fearing, John?
Death.
They were fearing death itself. And now since they've been cooped up for 2 weeks with themselves, they're like, screw this. I'd rather die than do this.
Yep.
Being with yourself, dealing with yourself, people would rather die than to actually do things that benefit themselves spiritually.
Exactly. But they're
Yeah.
sure fighting hard to get back in the church house, isn't they?
Oh yeah. I mean, well,
Yeah.
any house of worship, really, but
Yeah.
um.
That's what it's all about.
So me and Johnny, we watched a good video last night.
Amazing video. Amazing.
And it was about becoming nobody.
Yep.
And the movie is called Nobody, and it's a documentary about a mentor and his guru. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of you might know this person. Some of you might hear this and decide not to be on this channel anymore.
It's a possibility.
The guru was Dom Russ or
Mhm.
Ram Dass. Yeah, Ram Dass. Said it back.
Ram Dass.
Yeah. Yeah, and wow, he has had a spiritual journey over the course of his life
Mm-hmm.
that in the last year, we are right there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that all we have done was search within us.
Yeah.
And found all these
same
things
truth.
that
Yeah.
all these other people finding out too.
He was talking about all the drugs he had tried and all the
Right, because he wanted to stay in that place of happiness, that
Yes.
place of euphoria, that
Yeah.
place of higher consciousness.
Yeah. And he's
And
tried
that's-
every drug over and over. He went to India and talked to, gurus and monks, and he did every religion possible. And over years and years and years.
Well, he did start having breakthroughs and different things
Mhm.
when he did go to India, and he started listening to a guru that he sat under.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can only sit under a guru or someone for so long, right?
Well, then he was placing a position of power in that person. Even the
Right.
way he was talking is like, this person's not just a human; they're a window to enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about anybody else. That's the part where I was like, no.
Well,
I don't
what
go
did
with
the
that.
guru do though? The guru challenged him, right,
Mhm.
to look inward.
Yep.
So that was
it's
key.
People always trying to put the emphasis on somebody else leading them. It's an external god. It's a pastor. It's a priest.
Well, I don't
It's
even
this,
have a
that.
problem with the whole guru thing.
Mhm.
In if it's somebody truly like saying, "Hey, look, it's in you."
Yeah.
It's in you. Like all the answers you need for your life and in this existence. All of them are in you.
Well, I talked about with you and with Cindy, the possibility of doing life coaching. And I said, I put myself out of business because I would be telling people all the time the answers in them.
Everything is. It's
Yeah.
And this is why the Bible talks about like it being your walk.
Mm-hmm.
You have to search it out. No one can search you for you.
It's your walk. I like what he said in there is that we're all just walking each other home.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that. And I started thinking about, when you're kids and you're done playing, the streetlights come on and, either you're one of the friends that walked everybody home or you had a friend that walked you home or something. That's what we're supposed to be. We're not here telling you what to believe or what to do or this or that.
No, I'm going to tell you not to believe what I say.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you not to believe the things that I found out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't live your life based upon me.
No.
And this is the whole problem with all religion. All religion says there's one way and you have to live this certain way based upon someone else's interpretation of a book. Mm-hmm. You can't do it. You can't live your life according to the Bible or the Quran based upon what someone else tells you that book says.
Exactly.
This is like,
Listen.
this is like driving, right? And you go to
Mhm.
somebody who's never drove before and he tells you how to drive.
Yeah. Well, also,
And you try
it's
to
our
live your
walk.
life based upon how he told you to drive.
Well, look at it this way too. You can walk a mile in somebody's shoes, but imagine if those shoes are too big, they're going to rub blisters. If they're too tight, they're going to kill your feet. Now, you may have some truths, the same kind of truths as I have or that Josh has. So that shoe might fit for a while, but it still ain't your shoe. You know?
No, you got to find yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to search out your own shoe right here. This this thing you're in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some other things. What's the walking a mile in somebody's shoe? I guess we're going to talk about that since you mentioned it as well.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun. While Josh is looking that up, everybody, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I haven't said that for a while.
I guess it's going a little bit different direction than I thought it was going to go to. But anyway, so you mentioned going the extra mile. So
I know. We just messed everything up. Sorry.
no, we're all good. We're all good. No, we're gonna be
We're
talking about
good.
the other stuff anyway.
Yep.
Okay, because like people are fearing that the mark of the beast is coming, and then people
Oh
are,
my gosh.
and what's causing all this? Because they're scared to die.
Yeah.
It's that fear of death that's causing all your problems that are in your life. Every one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And the majority of the fear of death is they don't want to go to hell. And they're unsure. There's even tons of Christians sitting in church that they're not sure they're getting to heaven.
Well, I mean, that's what
know?
the fear does. You're never sure. You're never sure because you're fearful.
Yeah.
You're always looking over your shoulder. And this is why you end up not living in this life that we're supposed to live and exist in and have joy in this thing. We're supposed to experience this. And not only we were supposed to experience this, we were only supposed to experience this one time.
Yeah.
We've been here thousands of years, people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care what your religion tells you. We've been here thousands of years because you keep dying and coming back here because you keep choosing to come back here.
Yep. Because we're not believing in something external of yourself.
The fear keeps you coming back here and not finding out the things you need to progress.
Supposed to be living this life with joy and life more abundant.
You're appointed once to die. We've been here thousands of years.
Yep.
So in Matthew 5:38, it says, you have heard it said, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, do not resist the evil person. Somebody wants to give you a vaccination, let them. Don't resist them.
Yeah. They want to chip you. Well, let them chip you. What's that got to do?
It has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Because if it did, then Jesus wouldn't be telling you right here, do not resist an evil person.
Yeah.
If they slapped you on the right cheek, turn to them the left cheek also. And if anyone wants to sue you, take your shirt, hand over your coat as well.
Yeah.
Give them whatever they think they think is going to make them happy.
Plus some.
And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles.
Mm-hmm.
But John, I thought Jesus was leading a revolution to overthrow governments and blah, 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 blah.
Nah,
He was.
just not the way they thought he was.
Peacefully.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But because he was telling people they were gods, that's why in the story they killed him.
Yeah.
Because if you're a god, you're going to understand a few things. Death isn't the end. Never has
Nope.
been, never will be. You are
Nope.
eternal.
I'm going to give Brother Jeremy some credit for something he was talking about, mentioning not to fight against an evil person. It hit him the other day, about a week ago or so, and he's like, how could a chip or anything they put in you be the mark of the beast? Do anything to you? Your spirit, not flesh. That can only
Exactly.
affect the flesh. Can only affect the flesh, and Jesus said the flesh counts for nothing.
Yep.
So who cares what they want to do to this body?
And we see right there, Jesus said,
Don't
don't
fight
resist them.
Don't resist. You got people in the church going to be getting drug out by their hair, at the end of a shotgun or a rifle. I had talked with my dad.
And why
about
is
this
that?
a couple days
Why
ago.
are they doing all that? Why
Because
is this?
they think-
Why is this supposed like rebellion in
Because-
America coming against with the government?
And
I'm going to be honest with
crazy.
you. I used to be on that
Yeah.
side of stuff.
Me too. But here's the crazy thing to think about. They gave their heart to Jesus, asked him to come in, right? But they say, if they try to make me take something of it, I'm going to fight against them. Why? Isn't that good enough? Isn't what you did good enough? What's these men going to do to you to destroy what you think you got by asking Jesus to come into you? They prove right there they have no faith in what they did. That asking an entity into them really doesn't matter. They're still scared to death that humans could do something to them to destroy their soul. They believe humans can destroy their soul and send them to hell with some kind of technology.
And then that's the verse, right? It talks about why be fearful of the one who can kill the body when you should fear the one that can kill the body and soul and send it to hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wonder who that is. Oh, that's the life that's in you can send this body to Gehenna.
Yeah.
Which is the dump where it goes anyway.
Right back here. It's interesting, the fear that people have of man. Just other men.
And if there's anything that's a mark, you want to know what the mark is. What the hell did they ask to come into them?
Exactly.
What is the spirit of Zeus that they asked to come into him?
If anything's going to alter
Jesus,
you,
Jesus, Zeus, same name.
Yeah. If
not the biblical character in the book.
Yeah. If anything's going to alter you, it's going to be that which you ask into you. Right? Just like taking drugs. You shoot something in your veins, it's going to alter you.
You're talking about those people who take the kingdom by force.
Exactly. It's all the same, whether it be drugs or a spiritual entity that they call upon.
Maybe that spiritual entity locks you in the lower self. Ooh, imagine that.
Keeps you emotional.
The lower three chakras that are all the animal instinct basic instincts of you. And there's 3 of them.
Well, we see that when we talk to people that are in the church narrative still, they can't get past the emotional aspect and this here realm. Everybody in the Bible actually lived, and these are stories that actually happened. And I can only believe in what I can see, smell, touch, taste. Everything's done by this physical or
I
the
know.
emotional. They can't get past those.
I know it.
Yeah. So I would say that's a good point you made. Inviting that entity in locks you into your lower self. That's good.
I mean, he causes all those small and great to receive a mark
Yeah.
in their head and in their forehead, in their hand, right?
Yep. They want to cover up that eye, that light in your forehead. They want to cover up the right hand, which is your power.
Yep. Which is your authority.
Your authority. Mm-hmm.
They deny both, don't they?
They do.
They deny their pineal gland as being their light.
And they deny that they have any authority.
And they deny they have any authority to rule over anything. Yep. When you can go back into Genesis 1 and we were the rulers of this earth.
Yep. But they give it all to this entity they call Jesus.
Yep.
Made up name. Yep.
So if there's any mark, and character is actually what it means.
Mm-hmm.
And the character, which it says name in there, but it means character. Well, what are the characters of the lower self? Vengeance, wrath, anger.
Yep. Jealousy. All the emotional nonsense.
Yeah. Everything but love.
Yep.
So it's interesting how that stuff, works out and stuff. And, you can take those things literally. And how's that worked out for you? Exactly. For 2,000 years, the church is... 2,000 years, the Catholic Church has murdered everybody that came against them. And now the church does the same thing.
Yeah.
Anybody who comes against the church today, they murder.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Josh, we don't do nothing. We're loving. Really? Tell that to the Arabs you told this country to go over and bomb.
Yeah.
Or Vietnam.
You loving everybody Korea. When you love everybody when
Iraq.
You rejoice. You rejoice when let me know when you're done. There's so many, right? It's disgusting.
Yeah.
You could just put a whole list of it would just take forever for all the people
Japan, China.
All of the lands we've raped and pillaged.
Right.
Half blown up. You say you love everybody out of one side of your mouth, yet you celebrate.
Well, since it's not them physically doing it, it's the government doing it.
It doesn't
and
matter.
We're righteous, John. John, we're righteous.
When a preacher can say out of one side of his mouth he loves everyone that is created, and on the other side of his mouth celebrate the murder of a terrorist.
Yeah.
A terroristic leader. I had a big debate with my dad over that. How can you say you love everybody? You just celebrated his assassination. I don't want anybody to get killed.
For things he may have did or did not do. None of us were there when those things happened.
We weren't there. And we're going on what the news and government says. Who the heck knows?
And we know they got a perfect track record.
Sure. They're completely honest. Honest and forthcoming as it comes.
Mm-hmm. Never lied to anybody.
Yeah. Never. I wouldn't think of it.
Never gave black people syphilis.
No.
How can you believe any institution that murdered people?
Yeah.
And say they're righteous?
Yeah.
You're out of your mind if you think that's true.
Then again, though, they're in a church who at one point had the Crusades, which killed everybody they came in contact with.
Yep. And every atheist is right. Every war is based upon somebody's religion
Sure.
and for somebody's religion.
Always has been.
The governments can't do anything without the people.
Yep.
And they always put everything, it's us versus them.
Yep.
And like sheep to the slaughter, we allow it.
Mm-hmm.
This is why, we talk about like, I can't be involved in government no more. I'm not giving them my authority to do the things that they do.
Not participating.
Nope. Well, you can change it.
You ain't.
If 4 billion Christians can't make this a half decent place to live, what is one guy who believes in him, the Father within him?
Yeah.
What happened to that guy? Oh, the system murdered him. If you believe the stories are true, right?
Yeah. Yeah, here's Jesus trying to tell the truth. How far did he get?
Right? 3 years. That's as far as he got.
Yeah. Yeah.
70 weeks if you believe the other books, right?
Right.
It's interesting, man. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in Matthew 5:41, 42 now. Yeah, we read 41. Give to the one who asks you, and do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you. You have heard that it is said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may become children of your Father in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way. That you may become a child of the Father within your heaven.
Yep.
And it starts by loving people. He causes the sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. Traumatic things in this life are going to happen to all of us.
Yep.
Because we're in this realm.
It's just what happens. Oh, well, Josh, it's because Adam and Eve sinned. They ate an apple.
No, it's called nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if you want to get into it now.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Crap
Death
happens.
Is a part of nature.
Yeah. 100%.
And with that death comes life.
Mm-hmm.
Not only spiritually, physically too.
Yep.
With death comes new life. Go bury someone and see what happens to the ground that you bury them in.
Yep.
It brings forth life.
Sure
and
does.
the life that's in that person lives on.
Mm-hmm. Because the life that was in them never ceases.
Never ceases. It's eternal. It never stops.
That I talked about that with you and Cindy. That movie, Phenomenon.
Yeah.
With John Travolta.
Yep.
Where he was sitting out in the field and he was dying, and his girlfriend had 2 kids, and they loved him a lot. They didn't want him to go, so he was having a talk with them, and he starts cutting an apple, and he starts telling this story about how there's energy and life in this apple, and if you partake of this apple, the nutrients and stuff's going to help you grow, and it's going to be a part of you for the rest of your life. The nutrients in that one apple will be part of you the rest of your life. So that apple didn't go nowhere. It's always going to be with you. Energy doesn't cease. There's life in all these things. We eat a
It's
plant.
neither created nor destroyed.
It just always will be.
Yep.
Now, say that apple doesn't even get consumed; it falls on the ground. Well, guess what? Now the seeds can create another apple tree,
and the rest of it will become fertilizer for the tree itself too.
Exactly.
And there's going to be insects and bacteria that eat on that apple until it's decayed.
Sure. We had an apple tree in our backyard, and we used to use the apples every year. And then every so often, we'd have a year where we wouldn't touch it. Just wouldn't touch it. Let all the apples fall to the ground. And I'm telling you, the soil, the grass, the tree, everything the next year, it was so healthy.
Yeah.
It was so healthy. And even the fruit, the apples were so much better because it had time to rest, build its energy back up.
This is why every 7 years, according to the Jewish people, you're supposed to let the land rest.
And let the land rest. A lot of farmers
America
still do that.
Big
Not
Pharma
so
doesn't do it.
No,
And that's
farmers.
why there's no minerals in the topsoils anymore.
Yeah. There's
Why?
some
Because
small-time
they're
farmers.
raping the earth of its
They are.
minerals.
Every single bit.
Just so they can have control over the industries. But that's another point and story of some other time.
Sure.
But before we got on the air today, I told John, starting to see some things differently, starting to understand what the Bible's actually talking about when it talks about the wrath of God and the anger and the vengeance of God. And you got to understand, it's not talking about a human being. It's not talking about an entity that's some form of life in this realm apart from light itself.
Yeah.
And the realm and things that we're in, because we do believe that there is reincarnation, and you can see this throughout every living thing on this earth. That when the Bible's talking about those things, it's referring to nature. It's referring to the things, the chaotic calamities that happen. Like, I don't know, the flood. Well, God did it. Yeah. Nature done this.
It wasn't an act of a person, that's for sure. It's the fact that they just put a name on it, right? They believe in this external God anyway, so if something huge like this happens, like a tornado.
And then you make this God deity out to be a psychopath.
Yeah.
And when we get into our own nature, you have the capacity to do both things. You can be wrathful, anger, bitter, have hatred, sadness, depression. You can have anxiety. You can have all that crap.
Yeah.
Or you can have love, peace, joy. And coming to find out, there's a reason for all of it.
Yeah.
There are things you're supposed to learn through someone dying.
Sure.
And as hard as that sounds, and as hard as that sucks, there are things that you're supposed to be learning. Everything in this life is a tool to teach you some aspect of godhood and the light that's within you. And if you're fearful of death, it's going to stump your growth. And it's going to cause you not to experience things in this life. Prime example of that myself. For everything except for the last year of my life. Since I was about 5. So 25, 35 years.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
So, and nature don't care.
It's
It
not.
doesn't. It doesn't choose somebody over somebody else.
No. Literally, nature, the things that happen, it's not. It's not about you.
Nope.
Like when a lion attacks an antelope, it's nothing personal, bro. Just needing to eat.
Now,
That's it.
I do have one thing. A lot of tornadoes hit trailer parks. I don't know why.
It does seem to happen. It does seem.
But
Mother
maybe it's
Nature
because
doesn't
of
like
where they
trailers.
put those trailer parks.
That could be it. Like you're in Tornado Alley. That's what they call it. You probably shouldn't put trailer parks there. Probably shouldn't do it. Probably should put some more heavy duty buildings.
Yeah, maybe.
You're gonna get a house in a floodplain.
Right?
Don't be surprised.
Let me
if
live
you
on the
get flooded.
coast where there's hurricanes every year in the same spot.
Exactly. You move to Florida, best bet you're going to experience a hurricane at some point.
But here's the thing. If that's where you choose to go and live,
Yeah.
how can you
You're
be
okay with
mad
that?
at the consequences of that your decision?
Yeah.
And then you blame God for doing it.
Dude, the church
One person
always
blames
saying,
God for doing it, right? The other person praising God because he did it.
Yeah. And a third
And
person.
it's all nature. It's all the
the third
system that we
person-
live in. You live, you
Third
die,
per-
you live, you die. This is the whole system.
You say that one person blames God, other person praises God, third person says it was the devil.
Right.
And then you get genius Pat Robinson. It's because the gays. It's gays' fault. Oh gosh. When in fact, shit happens.
Right. It rains on the just and the unjust alike.
It does. It just happens.
Somebody walks out their house, get hit by a car.
Yeah. And we ain't saying this stuff is great, and we approve of it. We don't want. I don't want Josh sucked up by a tornado. I'm not going to celebrate it.
Hey, wait a minute, man. In the Bible, that's a great honor.
No. That's a little different than what I was talking about.
How do you know? You assume that's what happened.
Said a millstone. It's like a millstone. The chariot or the tornado?
The tornado.
Okay.
He's caught up in a
you ain't
whirlwind, a tornado.
I shouldn't probably let everybody know that one of my goals is to ride in a tornado.
See?
Like in the movie Twister, tie myself to something. Yeah, so I've always been that way. I'm a little weird.
But see, the church has got everybody so scared of life because of death that no one ever lives.
No.
No one ever lives in this life. No one ever learns what they're supposed to. This is why we've been here thousands of years. Because everyone's too fearful to actually go and experience things and learn the things that they're supposed to in this life to go on after this life.
And everything's for a reason. All this stuff is for a purpose.
We've been stuck in the first grade, y'all. We've been stuck in kindergarten, y'all, for a long time.
Long time.
When are you going to finally get over it?
Yeah.
When are you finally going to get over the fear? It's part of the system.
Yep.
It's nothing to be scared of. You're going to have another life. Plain and simple. One way or the other.
Yeah.
Either you're going to be here or you're going to choose to come back here to help others to wake them up. Until everybody decides to wake up. Every knee shall bow, every tongue confess, right? All of us are going to finally wake up. It's going to take a long time, I guess, because we've been here thousands of years.
And I don't see too many of us around.
There's a few of us.
That's a handful. I like what you said about people dying. It's a part of life, a part of learning. You know, it seems like it's a shame. You know, you hear about like, you know, the 5-month-old baby dying with coronavirus and stuff like that. And to that family, it's earth shattering. Earth shattering. But what's the scripture say? What the devil meant for evil, God or the light in you will bring out the good in that from that situation.
No, the Bible says
There's
all things worked.
all things.
All things
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
to the
So
good.
so the things that happen to you in your life that you think this is the worst travesty, tragedy, this is the worst possible thing that could ever happen to me, and you feel like it's going to kill you.
All things are working for the good of the Father that's within you.
Exactly.
All things. When you stop fearing and start
and that's your
dealing
true self.
with those
That's
things.
your true self. That's your true self. So all things was working out for the good for you.
Yeah.
What?
Well,
A family member
it says
dying is going to work
God
out good.
is you, so.
Right. I know. Okay, so when my mom passed away, I sat there for 13 hours waiting for her to pass. And looking back at that time now, like if she would have passed and I wasn't there, I would have been more heartbroken. The fact that I was there was a little more easier, but that's not even what I'm talking about. After she passed, my dad actually said, I felt her leave. Why? He felt the energy leave her. He felt the life leave her. Felt it.
Yeah.
All right. And then after she's gone, my senses were so heightened. I felt so it was cloudy and it was rainy and stuff. And we went out and sat on the front porch area at the nursing home. And I got a crack in the clouds and the sun shines through right on my face. And that's all it was. It's just like this little bitty sliver is like shining right on my face. And just feeling the cool of the breeze and stuff that was going on, but the warmth of that one ray of sunshine, you know, just there's all these things going on and listening to people talk and just, I was hearing all these conversations that my senses were so heightened and the stuff that I had to experience all that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize what was going on back then. Or I didn't realize what was going on, but somebody close to me left, but something was given to me, right? There was this spiritual heightening. I don't know how to explain it perfectly. I just know that there was something that happened that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it stuck with me, and it allowed me to get through the fact that this flesh was going to miss my mom. It just was. I was always a mama's boy. Like Josh even said after, you know, it happened and stuff, he's like, dude, I figured you probably tried to kill yourself. I did too. I had always thought that.
I knew, like before we started like talking to stuff, if your mom would have died before all that, yeah.
Sure. I probably would have.
But I knew you was going to take it. I just didn't know how badly you were going to take it. I knew it wasn't going to be the extreme, but I knew you might have took it bad. I just didn't know how.
Yeah.
But we had already started this journey, so.
Sure. And I was completely just, I was kind of confused on how good I took it, right?
Yeah.
I was shocked, right?
My biggest thing with the church and death is it's supposed to be the graduation party. And every one of them fear it. Every one of them fear it.
Scared to death. Brother Kelly, True Good News, he talks about talking to an older lady in her 80s. Her husband had already died. She's getting old. She's got her Bible on her nightstand. She's at church. She goes to church. She believes in Jesus, all this stuff. And she's scared to death. She don't know where her husband went, for sure, even though he's supposed to have been a Christian. And she don't know where she's going. Am I really going to heaven? I spent my whole life believing the church.
Right.
But am I really going to heaven? And the fact that there's a possibility of a hell that they were taught also scares people to pieces. How are you going to have any joy? How are you going to have any happiness when every freaking second you're looking over your shoulder seeing that the boogeyman death with the sickle standing there getting ready to take you
your
out?
life, right?
Yeah. Angel of death just around the corner. Every time you got to watch it.
Let's see here. Chris something says, got here late. Sup, guys? What's going on, Chris? How you been?
What's up, Mr. Something?
Helikar Barca? I guess that's how you would pronounce it. Or Hamilcar Barca? Religion is organized schizophrenia. Yep.
Absolutely.
100%, bro.
100%.
Well, I guess it's a bro. Might be a girl. I don't know.
Might be, but welcome to you nonetheless. Welcome.
Yes. I don't like the book of Matthew poorly scribed. Well, most of them are poorly scribed because they were scribed by the pagan Catholic Church. But
yeah, Jeremiah even told you, warned you about the lying pens of the scribes. So it's been lied and rewritten and lied more.
Glad you've been great,
about
Chris. Glad to hear everything's good with you.
Yep.
Yeah. Jeremiah says the scribes were lying, before Jesus came. So, but
yep.
It's about the truth that's in you anyway. It's not about that book.
Mm-hmm.
We usually use the book just to show what's in you, the truth that's in you. So, I'm not sure how many of our videos you've actually watched. So,
yeah, this is all the stuff in that book is things that happen within you.
Yeah, everything in that book.
And there's enough of the truth that still exists within it.
That's why we show. That's why we actually use the book, because we use it to wake up Christians.
Yeah.
We don't need the book at all.
No. They seem to be
the truths that we show. We never got from that book.
No. The Christians seem to be the toughest nuts to crack. So they like to partake in the schizophrenia.
Yep.
So, and we were there. We were once one of them. So we know what it's like.
The delusion was strong with that one.
Yeah, me too.
This is 1 Corinthians 15:55. Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting?
Yeah.
Death doesn't have victory because it's not a death.
That's only the ending.
You conquer it when you die.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can conquer it before you die. And not being fearful of it because you're eternal.
I liked what it said in that movie. We watched the documentary. Which, by the way, Chris, it's at the beginning of the video. It's called what is it, Becoming Nobody?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good documentary on Amazon Prime. And it talked about leaving this life is like taking off a super tight shoe that you had on all day. And everybody knows what that feels like. You wore a shoe, it was way too small, you went to a wedding or whatever. You put on your only pair of dress-up shoes, and they're way too small now. And how good it feels to get out of it. You're like, and you can finally breathe. It's like, that's what we talk about, like the church. They say they believe that that's what death is like. But then they don't, because they don't show that. Got any more scriptures, or is this a good time to tell anybody if you have any questions, throw it in chat right about now?
Yeah, go ahead and throw some questions in chat for those who are here. If you guys got any questions or It doesn't have to be on anything we talked about. It can be about whatever.
Whatever.
We'll talk about whatever. Anybody who's been here at least once knows that.
And again, we're not answering your question. We're going to tell you how we understand something or how we perceive something within ourselves. You still need to seek out your answer within you.
But if it resonates with you, then it's yours.
Yeah, if what we say resonates, take it. Whatever. Is Miss Cindy in chat? Did she jump in tonight?
I do not know. There's 3 people currently watching, so she might be in here.
Right.
Look at Hosea 13:14. I will deliver this people from the power of the grave. I will redeem them from death. Where, O death, where are your plagues? Where, O grave, is your destruction? I will have no compassion.
Death ain't got nothing on me. Ain't got nothing.
I do not see any. I'm here, she said. It's kind of funny because, like, the picture she has her arms out like, ta-da! And then
Ta-da!
it says,
I'm here.
That's pretty funny.
That's Cindy's picture wanting to hug the world. She would if she could, all at once.
Well, I don't see any questions, Johnny boy, so let's go ahead and close her out.
We got some enlightened listeners. That's great.
It's always good to see everybody in chat.
Yep. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Again, if you like the videos, share them. Somebody else might need to be woke up. There's a lot of somebodies, actually. So, and make sure, as much as you're blessed, bless someone else.
And as always, do the will of the Father within you. We are the last awakening warriors.
Unlocking the secrets of the universe.
Welcome to the Last Awakening podcast.
Oh no, I think I've lost my mind. I think I've lost it all.